Hello, and thank you for joining us here on the Neutral Zone. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by my trusty sidekick, my partner in crime. Really, the best way to describe this person is my everything. It's at Eric Delala.
Phil, little reservation there in your voice at the end.
No. Pause for dramatic effect.
Oh, okay. Well, you did a nice job.
Thank you. Yeah. Just like really draw the listener in.
Yes.
Boom. My everything.
Boom.
Yeah.
Phil, I do have to say, on Monday at Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse in Littleton.
Off Santa Fe?
Yes. Farm home.
Brewery Lane?
Yeah, exactly. You seemed a little saddened.
I was a little bit sad.
And I think I was a little bit saddened as well.
Why were you saddened?
Because you were saddened.
Oh, got it. Okay.
But we of course, there had been a Broncos loss the previous day.
Yes.
But I feel like we're back.
You're back.
I mean, on Monday I was like, the Broncos are never going to win a football game ever again.
What's the rule for you? You know, like the players have like a 24-hour rule.
As long as
what do you think, 48 for you? Or?
As long as I'm ready to go Wednesday when we get back into the next game week, the next podcast recording. I mean, to me, that's when you got to be ready to go.
You got to flip the page.
And I'm feeling optimistic again, Phil. I'm feeling good. I think there's a way the Broncos go into the Steel City and get
how you said that.
Get a dub.
That was good.
So
yeah,
I'm ready for this podcast.
You know how many rivers are in that city?
It's not one, I don't think.
It's not one, and I don't think it's two either.
No, and I don't think there's four.
No,
that's too many.
That is one too many. I think. Yeah, for that city.
3?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think
they
so.
should have called it like 3 River Stadium or something like that.
A mistake.
Yeah, why didn't they do that?
Of course, the Broncos are facing the Steelers this Sunday. An interesting matchup here because the Broncos, obviously, we know, need to bounce back after this Ravens game. Justin Simmons was asked about how are you going to do it, and he goes, we don't have any other choice. We just got to do it.
No other choice.
No other choice. But the Steelers coming in, their season kind of might be on the line here.
Yeah, they're 1-3, Phil.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. You view Pittsburgh like going into the year.
Always, yeah.
This is one of the hardest road trips. They're playing Renegade. It's loud.
They're played Renegade at practice on Wednesday here for the Broncos.
They did.
You got to get used to that.
They're waving towels.
Do
you think they should have had the media waving towels downstairs?
Yeah,
that could have been nice.
Make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you view this as normally one of the toughest games, one of the toughest road trips on the schedule. But the truth is the Steelers haven't been very good, and that kind of makes it dangerous in its own right because, like you said, Phil, they're kind of backed into a corner. They have to – if they lose here and drop to 1-4, playoff chance is probably over. Maybe Ben Roethlisberger has to go sit on the bench.
Ben Roethlisberger, obviously, I've seen his highlights on a loop on the TVs all around the facility here. ESPN, NFL Network, all playing these missed throws from Big Ben. Uncharacteristic type of plays. And, I mean, he's going to be going up against his Broncos defense that's going to be hungry to prove itself after letting Lamar Jackson really take over that game last week.
Definitely. But, I mean, we know Big Ben, Phil. He made some plays last year that helped the Steelers get that win. Picked on Michael Ojemudia a lot. So I don't think
Ojemudia is going to play in this one.
I do not believe so.
Yeah.
So
what's going to happen?
What does that mean?
I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. We'll obviously get into the Broncos quarterback situation too. Not sure if Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to make it right now. Some encouraging signs. Vic Fangio said he was going to lift on Wednesday. He was in there. Did you see him in there when you were?
It was probably like 4:45 when I got done. So
AM.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
when other time? Oh, you think I would lift that late? I go back in afterward.
That's why I was like,
but I'm not.
Which lift?
I'm not done. I'm not done working at 4:45 p.m. So that's more normally like 7:30. You go back in there, get another pump.
Got it. Then
but no, I was. They've only got like 6 plates in there that are big enough for me to use. So I was putting all those back after I had all of them kind of on the bar.
And then
I saw Teddy coming in.
Yeah. And then, did you offer to help? Like spot or anything?
We're not doing the same weights, Phil. I think he was taking it a little bit easy.
Oh, okay. So that's not good.
I don't know.
Was he doing heavy back squats?
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Derek Wolfe was here leading the strength and conditioning. No, Phil, we did hear that Teddy Bridgewater did some lifting. I didn't see him today, but he also was apparently at team meetings. He was out there at practice. Good sign.
He was not practicing. A little bit.
He's out there at practice.
Yeah, he was out there.
But he was not practicing. Similar to how we were out there at practice.
Yeah. But you didn't practice.
No.
But I think if you just casually say, yeah, he was out there at practice,
Oh,
you might
people.
think, oh, he practiced.
Yeah.
He did not practice.
Got it.
Yeah.
Like if I were to say you were at work, someone might think Phil was working.
Correct.
But that
common
you being at work does not mean
same
you're
as like
necessarily
with Ben Swanson.
Yeah. You guys could be at work. It definitely does not mean you're doing work.
Correct.
Yeah.
I try to just get through the hours.
Yeah.
And then I just go home.
Yeah. You're always
that's
like,
right.
was that Phil I just saw? And then you kind of dart behind a corner. And
I'm just trying to listen to the neutral zone all day.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you got to review the tape.
How do you get better?
Exactly. You go back.
But okay, so if Teddy can't play, it'll be Drew Lock.
Yep.
And bashing Drew Lock has become a new hobby for people in Broncos country.
Yeah, outside of this
They
building.
enjoy doing
Let's
it.
clarify that the team is not
The
bashing.
voicemail hotline 707 neutral.
What about the emails? Neutralzoneshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, we
Also
had
bad.
It was bad.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly has been a change in the tide, Phil.
I know people were all team Drew Lock, and then he plays one half of football, and boom.
If you go back and you listen to the archives, I think I told people that Teddy Bridgewater was going to win the competition, was better for this team. So I think the lesson here, and I got called, Phil, I got called a Drew Lock hater all through training camp.
You did.
I just had to defend myself against these barbs.
Yeah.
But I think the lesson here is
you don't really hear that word every day, barbs.
No, you don't. But I think the lesson here is to just listen to what I tell you.
Oh, got it. That's why people listen to the show.
Yeah.
I'm the emotional guy. You're the guy.
The stats facts guy.
DVOA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think what we want to talk about on this episode of the Neutral Zone is how can Pat Shurmur put whoever is under center there in the most
the best
way to make that person and the Broncos offense as a whole successful this week.
Yes.
So we'll get into that. I think running the football might be in that equation.
It could be.
It could be in the equation. Then we'll have our predictions, bold predictions, if you will.
If you will. Did either of us?
Bold. I don't think any of us. I think I said that the Ravens were gonna. No, I don't know what I said.
I think I said
I forgot about it.
The Broncos were going to hold the Ravens under 80 yards rushing.
Did you say 80?
I think so. Isn't that what I said?
I think they got more than 100.
But no one really made much of a big deal about that, did they?
I think that they went over 100. It came down to the last play, but I think they did it.
I like the commitment from some in the Denver market. I mean, our friend Mike Kliss, I told him today.
Big fan of the show.
Told him today. I respect. He's interviewing Franco Harris about the Steelers streak from the 70s. Franco's like, I didn't even know that we had that record.
Yeah.
That's called furthering a story.
Well, maybe while you're talking to Franco, you do something on this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I don't know if he did that or not.
I'm sure he's got some quotes he's saving.
And then I liked someone else asked Mike Tomlin today, hey, what did you think about John Harbaugh's decision? Yeah. And Mike Tomlin was like, why would I weigh in on that?
Yeah, I don't want to get involved. Yeah. But I don't think Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh are like best buds.
No, but they are two of the more respected coaches in the league.
I don't think they like each other.
Do you think Vic and John are going to exchange Christmas cards this year or holiday cards?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
It got deleted out of... It
got spicy.
Yeah, it got deleted out of their cards.
Maybe you'll get added instead.
I'm already in there.
With John?
You're not?
No, with John.
No, I'm saying with Vic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we all get the meatball.
Yeah,
we get that.
Each year it's like a different recipe.
Yeah. No, it's the same recipe I'm getting.
Oh, you're only getting
just
the
different
one.
Pictures of Vic in the kitchen making them.
Got it. Got it. I sometimes get like a nice manicotti.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because he usually says like,
pesto.
hope you have a spicy Christmas. And then it's like, yeah. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
And then he's got the meatballs stacked up like little snowmen.
Oh, you can do a little Christmas tree or something?
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's a Christmas tree. Yeah. Probably takes a long time to get that photo. Yeah.
How many toothpicks do you think you need to?
A lot. The construction, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll have bold predictions, and then like we like to do here on this Thursday show, we'll end with fan voicemails. Email. We got an email from Japan. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah. Of course, we're mailing stickers all over the world at this point, Eric. NZ Nation
thousands.
NZ Nation has spoken, and they wanted stickers.
They did.
Yeah. And we've mailed them.
They each wanted like 2 or 3 of them.
Brazil, I think I mailed one to. Peru.
Wow.
Germany, Russia. We might have to start calling it NZ World.
Can you see Russia
Not
from your
my
house? No.
Not from my house.
Okay.
Not here in Colorado.
Got it.
A little too far away.
Well, I just figured, because you, people don't know this, you commute from the mountains.
That is not true.
You have a little hut on top of a 14er.
That's not true.
Kind of like the League of Shadows
Yeah.
situation.
I have to bring flour.
I didn't know if, from that height, if you could see.
Nah.
Okay.
The horizon ends before you.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, if you'd like to be a part of a Thursday show next week down the road, 707 Neutral. That's how you get your voicemails played. 707 Neutral. Just leave a voicemail. You could also leave an email.
That's right. neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. If you want a sticker, we only have a few left, Phil. So you better
email your address.
Better get them in your emails in quickly. Send your address.
It's been awesome writing these letters. I'll just say that.
Yeah. It's all you've had time to do.
That I have been doing a lot of letters.
A lot of letter writing.
If you've been waiting for yours for like a week or so, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. And we just got a backlog here. It kind of got out of control.
You're like a little small child. Oh, give me a second.
Okay.
You're like a little small child writing to Santa Claus about what you want. I mean, that's like how many letters you've written. Be like if each gift was a different letter.
A lot of Christmas themed stuff in this.
No, one was holiday card. I mean, it's getting a little chillier out here.
I will say I was at a hardware store the other day.
Can be a Hanukkah wish list if you would like it to be.
I was at a hardware store yesterday.
Yeah.
All the holiday stuff was out. I was like, whoa. Can we just get to Halloween first?
You know Halloween is also a holiday, right?
I mean, there was Christmas trees, snowmen, reindeer, all kinds of displays out.
Yeah. Turkeys?
Too much.
Too much
I didn't
turkeys.
See any turkeys.
Okay.
I don't see that.
Rick Owens is probably not happy right now.
He just skips all this part. Yeah.
Rick,
leave a comment on YouTube too if you'd like to be a part of the show. We read all of those, especially the ones that bash Eric a little bit. Just get a little bit why you always wear green shirts.
I think.
Why do you cut your hair like that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with your voice?
Well, someone discovered, Phil. Today we were getting tested for COVID as we do
once a week.
Make sure that we're very safe.
Yep.
Someone asked why your hair looked so good and so dark, and I think I spoiled things for you. I revealed that you get your hair colored now, and
that is also not true.
Yeah. You're getting a little bit red.
Your research on me is off today. The address, the hair.
It does look nice.
She mentioned that it just looked nice today, and I was like, "Thank you."
Does it make you think about all the times you've gone in there without her saying?
No, I didn't think about it that way. Only you would think. I would just say, "Thank you for the compliment."
Yeah.
That's what I said.
She's like, "This is the first time in a year and a half that your hairs look nice."
That is literally the nicest thing someone could say to me, is that your hair looks nice. So I said, "Thank you very much."
Yeah. If you say in your email that you like Phil's hair,
I'll give you a little lock.
You might get two. Oh my gosh. I don't think anybody wants that.
You didn't think I was going there?
No, I didn't.
You thought an extra sticker.
Yeah, extra sticker. But no, yeah.
Okay, let's jump into a little bit of football, Eric, here. Let's talk about the Broncos quarterbacks. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk
I'm
about
imagining the visual of you clipping your hair off and putting it in.
With the amount of emails we've gotten, I'd be bald at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Broncos quarterback situation, okay?
Yes,
Not sure who's going to be out there for the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater moving through the concussion protocol this week. Drew Lock taking the reps out of practice on Wednesday. How do you think this Broncos offense can help whoever's back there be successful against the Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing that we mentioned kind of at the top, you got to be a little more committed to the run game. I mean, Vic Fangio talked about that it kind of got bottled up, and there certainly were some negative run plays against the Ravens, but overall is working pretty well. And I think that there were a lot of 3-yard carries, some 2-yard carries, and there were a couple negative plays that really hurt you. A minus 3-yard run by Javonte late in the first half, a 0-yard run early in the second half. But when you're getting 6 yards or 10 yards or 14 or 12, to me that's reward enough to take the risk of, here's only a 1-yard gain, or here's only a 2-yard gain, or, we get stopped at the line of scrimmage. Because when you run the ball, I think that you're taking some of the pressure off whoever's at quarterback, specifically if Drew Lock has to play. if you're asking him to drop back and pass every single time, especially against a Steelers defense that's going to send extra pressure, that kind of hovers these guys at the line of scrimmage, doesn't necessarily identify or let you identify who's coming at the snap. So if you can get some, I don't want to call them cheap yards, but like bonus yards maybe from the run game, that to me is going to be important. And I think it's important with either guy, but especially if Drew has to play, you have to take some of the pressure off him because, Phil, I don't know that he's up to coming in and throwing it 40 times. That to me is not a recipe for success.
You know, the thing I was thinking about this week is not knowing who's going to be back there must be very difficult for Pat Shurmur because, in my mind, the game plans change drastically whether or not Bridgewater or Locke is in there. I agree with you. If Locke is in there, you want to be committed to the run, and then you want to set up play action and take some shots down the field. I think that is the recipe for success. Get Drew moving out there. Let him use his feet. Let him use his arm a little bit. And let him make easy decisions. Hey, this guy's going to be open down the field. Let's take a shot here. Maybe you hit on a big play or something, a momentum changer. Maybe you make that Steelers defense think twice about what they're trying to do. And then if Teddy is back there, you still want to be able to run the ball, but maybe some other stuff underneath opens up, is a little bit more realistic. But regardless, I think the game plan's got to be try to keep that Steelers defense a little bit off its game in terms of the pass rush. We know that T.J. Watt is going to be chasing whoever is back there. Hopefully Garrett Bowles has a better game this week. Hopefully maybe Dalton Reisner can play this week. Not sure about Graham Glasgow if he's going to be able to be ready to go. But if you get that O-line healthy, that'll be a big improvement. But you just can't be back there looking around 7 seconds and letting T.J. Watt tee off on you because that's how somebody's going to get hurt back there. So get the run game going, move the pocket. If it's Drew, if it's Teddy, get the ball out of his hand fast. You know, some of those slant plays, I know they're missing Judy, and he would be the ideal player for that situation. But, you know, you can get the ball to Fant in different ways. I think that you could, you know, Tim Patrick is a big guy. He could box out some guys and get some easy chunk yards there. I think get the ball out fast and stay committed to the run game.
Yeah, and, you know, I think the key for Teddy is that where some of the misses were against the Ravens, and he hasn't missed every week. You know, I think it was just kind of an off day for Teddy, but some of the misses were these throws down the sideline or kind of like back shoulder throws along the sideline. When he worked the middle of the field, whether it was to Cortland or Tim Patrick or Noah, that worked pretty well. You know, yep. Tim was pretty open on some of those couple plays where he kind of ran just a comeback to the middle of the field. Let's see some of that sort of stuff. Get Noah Fant going across the field where he can get some yards after the catch, which he hasn't really done much of that this year. He's made some plays, but they've been shorter plays. His yards per catch are not very high, ranked pretty low in the league. So I would try to get him going a little bit there. But, yeah, some of these – I mean, the issue last week against Baltimore is that it didn't even matter on some of these plays if Teddy got the ball out quick because, like, that first sack by Oa, he was by Garrett Bowles in you know, a split second. So – the Broncos' offensive line has to play better over the next few weeks, particularly the tackles, because, like you said, you're going to see T.J. Watt, you're going to see Myles Garrett in a couple weeks, you're going to see Max Crosby next week. I mean, you've got a stretch here where if the tackles don't play well, you know, knock on wood that, and there's a table here for everyone who knows, it's got to be about more than when Teddy comes back from the concussion. You just got to keep him healthy in general.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm hopeful, Phil. I'm optimistic that Teddy will be able to play. We saw him out there observing practice on Wednesday, was able to participate in meetings and lift, as we mentioned at the top. There's a possibility he could be limited in practice on Thursday. We've seen this sort of trajectory before with Philip Lindsay, I think. It might have been last year, it might have been a couple of years ago, I can't remember. But he had a concussion by Friday. He was basically a full participant, gets cleared toward the end of the week. I guess my question for you, Phil, is how confident are you that if Teddy's getting these limited reps, that he can be ready to go for Sunday against the Steelers?
I think a running back obviously way different in terms of reps needed to just be ready to go. I think that if Teddy's in the meeting rooms, if he's out at practice observing, and then he gets maybe 1 or 2 days of practice out there, that's good enough. I mean, I think he's got full command of the offense. So I would feel confident that if no matter what, if Teddy's cleared and he's okay to go out there, I would play him at quarterback. But I think the biggest thing is just let's make sure he's okay. I mean, I think that's one thing that we've learned a lot about over the last couple of years is like don't rush this process. Make sure that he's 100% healthy and he's ready to go out there. But like you mentioned, some very encouraging signs, the fact that he was able to lift, the fact that he's able to be in meeting rooms, and like he's trending in the right direction here. So I think that a lot of people are probably saying, oh, it's got to be Teddy, otherwise the Broncos have no chance. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I do think that if Teddy is healthy, you put him out there.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think the chances are better if Teddy Bridgewater's out there. And I know you're not. I know you weren't saying that wasn't the case, but you looked at this past week, and I think it became very clear why Teddy Bridgewater was named the starter, why he's the right guy to lead this offense, and something that we saw last year in Pittsburgh. Drew played 2 series, obviously gets strip sacked and hurt on the second series, but Teddy, when you go against a defense like this that is going to put a lot of pressure on you. They don't have very many takeaways, but I think still have the talent to do that with guys like
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Devin Bush. We talked about TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. I mean, all these guys are very good players.
Defense.
And so to me, you need somebody that especially because the Steelers' offense is not very good, and we'll get to that. They haven't played very well, at least. You don't want to make mistakes that can keep them in the game. And so if you go out there and you throw a pick or you fumble the football or you're on your own side of the field and you have some sort of turnover, that keeps a team like Pittsburgh in the game. And I just feel better in that environment about Teddy not making that sort of mistake.
I think you can look at it this way. If you were to do a self-scout of the Broncos and you put yourself in the Steelers' shoes, you would say, okay, how do you beat this team if Drew Lock is in there? You
blitz.
Stop the run, you pressure him, and you force him to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I think the game plan gets much more difficult if it's Teddy back there. There's a lot more layers to it then, I think. So that's just one way to simply look at it.
Yeah. I think one more thing offensively, regardless of who's playing, is that until Jerry Jeudy's back, and it did sound today, Phil, like they've received encouraging news.
6 weeks seems realistic.
Yeah, which would be after week 7. So Washington, a potential return date for Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
But Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick have got to do a little bit more.
More involved.
They've got to get more involved. They've got to be open a little bit more. Some of these plays that are 50-50 balls, and this goes to everyone really. Albert O down the sideline.
That's what I was going to say. Maybe like when you have the opportunity, like with that Albert O, you've got to make it.
You got to make that play. And then the running backs they just need to keep doing what they're doing. They've been pretty good, I think. I'm not concerned about them, but Cortland wants to be a number 1 receiver. He's shown he's a Pro Bowler. Well, you got to go make Pro Bowl plays.
Yep.
And so he wasn't able – we saw in Jacksonville what happens when he's able to play at that level.
Yeah.
I think he can play at that level any week. But this would be a really good week for him to go out, help out his quarterback, no matter who it is, and make some plays.
The Broncos have enough weapons on the offensive side of the ball to win. It's just about getting them in the right positions and giving them a chance to be successful. Like you mentioned, giving Noah Fant the ball and able to run after, contact. Giving, Albert O a chance to go up and get some of those 50-50 balls. I think that's the key. And, the last thing I'll say about this Broncos offense is they just weren't on the field that much in that second half. And
at all, really.
One of the keys is, like, when it's not going well, let's just get some let's get like 3-4 yards and keep the positive momentum going. Like all too often, especially when Drew's in there, it's like miss, maybe a negative play, and then it's like 3rd and long and you're just done. You got to complete passes. You've got to stay ahead of the chains, as they like to say.
Yeah, I think the Broncos may have been lulled a little bit into, not to be confused with Louisville.
Lowell?
They were lulled. Not Louisville.
Got it.
We're done talking about Louisville for a while.
Lowell. AJ, we didn't get a voicemail from AJ.
Yeah, I think he's off the train.
Huh?
Yeah. I think they knew the Ravens were susceptible to the passing game, and so I think if you go back and you look at their first down plays in the first half in particular, they took some shots down the field, which if you hit is great. If you don't complete those, all of a sudden you're in 2nd and 10, and if you run for a couple,
run the ball,
now you set yourself up for 3rd and long. So I wonder if this week they get back to kind of where they were, even if they do pass on first down. Maybe they're taking 4 or 5 yards, like you said, staying ahead of the chains, because it felt to me, especially in the first quarter when they went punt, 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 that on first down they were just going for it. And if you make it, great, but if you don't, you hurt yourself.
Yeah, and I know I said the last thing. Gosh,
that's okay.
2 last things
for
this. I think that if you need to provide a spark, don't be afraid to try something. If it's just not working and you need a little spark, try a trick play. Try something.
You want a trick play?
Yes, I want something that's just like we have life. That's just. I think that something like that helps get you out of a rut.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the second half, if
Easy
they
to
had just
say that, but just try it.
Well, also I think in the second half, if they had just kept running the ball, I think that would have helped too.
Stay with the running game. Okay, all right. Let's talk about the other side of the ball here. This Broncos defense didn't look like the Broncos defense we saw the first 3 weeks against the Ravens, but now an opportunity here going up against the Steelers offense that just quite frankly hasn't looked like what we are expecting at the beginning of the season. Big Ben, not as accurate maybe this year as we've seen in the past, and Najee Harris, he's got a lot of yards, but it's not a high average there for him.
No. I think with the Steelers, what you're seeing is Ben Roethlisberger throwing a lot of short passes.
A lot of dink and dunk.
And so the yards per attempt is not there. But I think what you have to be careful of this week, because we saw against the Packers, he did have a deep touchdown throw. Yeah. I think Deontay Johnson maybe caught that. What you have to be careful of is, I think when a quarterback plays dink and dunk, you're tempted to come up and challenge them. And I don't know if that's playing press coverage or just letting them catch the ball in front of you and rallying to tackle, but I think there's a temptation to kind of creep toward the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
That can leave you vulnerable then to those deep passes. If there is a play action pass or they do decide to take a shot. And for all of the Broncos' strengths on defense, and they've been really good on defense still. And I said this Monday, Phil, I think they were better against the Ravens than maybe most people.
They gave up those big plays.
They did, but they held them to 23 points. I know you kind of question how many points they actually would have scored. That's all kind of behind us, but all that being said, they have been susceptible to deep balls. They gave up one.
Trevor Lawrence had a big one.
He had one week 1 against the Giants on the first drive by New York. You give up one. Week 3, don't really have the same problem. That was just kind of success, But certainly last week, there's a deep one to Hollywood Brown. There's a couple coverage mistakes. It'll be easier, I think, because there won't be crowd noise, because Pittsburgh will be quiet when the Steelers are on offense.
Yeah, sure.
So it'll be easier to communicate on the back end. But still, I think you have to be cognizant and cautious of that you've seen Big Ben dunk it down. There's this temptation to go be really aggressive. Leave yourself a little susceptible. So guys are still going to have to make those one-on-one plays.
Do you want the Broncos crowd to be quiet when the Broncos are on defense?
So you think there's going to be a lot of Broncos fans there?
No. I'm saying at home games, you're like, oh, maybe it's good that they're on the road.
That's what Justin Simmons said today.
Yeah, that's kind of a counter.
It's good for the defensive signals. I don't think it's better overall because you're still hurting their offense. But
yeah, I like it loud.
Okay, we'll trust you over what Justin Simmons said.
Yeah. I like it when they get rowdy.
He don't care.
Communication. Let's make it hard for the offense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah,
and I think that probably 99.9% of people agree with me.
Except maybe anyone that plays defense.
No, I think they like it when it's loud
too. So too.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? Sometimes they do this, Eric, where they're like, "Come on."
I have seen that.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Those are the defensive players.
So you think Justin Simmons was just
I don't know
making it up or something?
I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a momentary lapse in judgment.
Oh.
Momentary.
What would you call your lapses?
I don't have
lapses.
Long-lasting. I don't have those.
Long-lasting lapses.
I don't take lapses.
Yeah, LLL.
I just run
long-lasting lapses.
I run laps, not
Got
lapses.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see.
What do you think? Is Ronald Darby going to be able to play?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to see. I think Vic Fangio said a couple weeks ago with a hamstring, you
give it an extra week.
Well, you kind of wait till a player says they're ready, then you let them play after that, a week after that. I would want to make sure that he's ready for the next week.
Yeah,
because
you don't want it to linger.
The Steelers, they don't necessarily have a dynamic tight end the same way that the Raiders do in Darren Waller. And so, to me, what you would want to make sure can happen is that Pat Surtain's available to play on the tight end. Ronald Darby can go back to the right cornerback position. So if this week you need Pat Surtain for one more week, then it is what it is.
Picking on him a little. I could see Big Ben trying to pick on a rookie a little bit.
Yeah, it's possible. But and again, Pat Surtain's day-to-day, Ronald Darby, we don't know where he is. So that's going to be another thing to watch is what are they going to do at that position. Bryce Callahan's a pretty good or really good corner that can play outside if needed, but you might suffer a little bit in the nickel if neither Darby nor Surtain can go. So that's something to keep an eye on. And then Najee Harris, to me, Phil, is maybe the one guy or the biggest guy that can beat you. If he gets going, you got to stop him early, and you got to be aware when they run those screens or when they dump it off to him.
Yeah.
Because, gosh, I think the other day or maybe it was week 2 or something like that, I think he had like 18 targets, and like the average target was 2 yards or something like that.
Shelby Harris said, like, if you're not careful and you don't swarm to him, he could, boom, 30 yards.
Yeah.
So.
And he had that stiff arm a couple weeks ago where he just threw somebody into the ground. He's a good player.
Alabama players are pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, it'll be weird if Pat comes up and he wants to tackle him and he's like, oh, I know you, Najee. What's going on? Like in slow motion.
In slow motion. Yeah.
And then it's like, what's going on, man? I'm going to tackle you now.
Yeah. And
he's like, don't do that, man.
I think he'll still tackle him.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I will say, somebody commented this, and I will agree. Surtain, when he goes to tackle, has been just a little bit grabby. I haven't seen him really come up and make a big tackle. He's been kind of like grabs a guy and try to just like kind of throw him down. I hope that doesn't become an issue. Have you seen that?
No, not as I haven't studied his tackling. I need to take a closer
It has not
look.
been. I mean, Vic Fangio really likes tackling from his cornerbacks. It's not been.
Has he missed tackles?
He kind of usually delays the ball carrier until other people come in and finish it off. Is what I've noticed. Yeah,
because I can think of one. I think of one tackle from last week's game that was not good, but that was not Surtain. That was Kyle Fuller.
Yeah, I know.
They had him stopped on the sideline, exactly. And the guy just ran.
And then
through
they kind of like held
yards.
each other for a second on the sideline afterwards.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
But it shouldn't have been a first down. It ended up been a first down.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, just maybe something to keep an eye on. Hopefully, that's not an issue.
Definitely, and I do think the Broncos are going to need more out of whoever's playing opposite Von Miller. It's been Malik
Reed has not. Maybe I was expecting a little bit more out of Malik Reed this year.
It's been Malik. It's been Jonathan Cooper at times.
Cooper has not gotten close. Not like he did in the preseason.
No, I think the issue has been, particularly in the run game, those guys have been washed out a little bit. They've got to set the edge. I mean, Baltimore's first touchdown, Cooper's unable to set the edge.
Yep.
That's what really an easy rushing touchdown because of that. They've got to play better over there. Otherwise, teams are just going to attack whatever side Von Miller's not on. Because we know Von's a great run stopper. For all that we think of him as like this great sack artist, which he is, he's also very good against the run. But if those guys can't stop it, they're gonna just take advantage of that. So that's something to watch too.
I will say the Ravens are unlike any other team in the NFL, and Lamar Jackson is this threat that is. I've said it. Though I think he's probably the most dangerous threat in the NFL. This week, the Broncos won't have those same concerns. They won't have to sell out to just stop the run. They won't have to do uncharacteristic things. I think they could just go play Broncos defense.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more traditional, normal. Yeah. They can just line up and play. And that's why we said on Monday, not necessarily time to panic about the Broncos defense because that's just such a unique challenge. And Vaughn said we'll see him again. Who knows if that happens?
Oh, I would love it, Eric. I would just love it. That week, I will be insufferable.
But I will say that playing them will have you better prepared if you have to play them again. But for now, you kind of go back to this other style of football.
Yes.
And it's hard for me to imagine if the Broncos do not turn the ball over. So you don't give them a short field or like a big punt return. They have a very dangerous Ray McLeod, I think, is their punt and kick returner. Very good.
You're good if your name's Ray.
Very, very good. So I'm a little worried about that. But let's say No turnover, no like terrible turnovers where you've given them the ball at your own 30.
No turnovers that are like those towels they have.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
Yellow.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible. We don't want to see yellow on the field either.
No. Well, unless it's against the Steelers.
I don't. Like
I think aren't they going to wear yellow?
Are they?
I would think
black
so.
and yellow.
Do they wear black?
I think there's a song about their uniforms.
Purple.
No.
Black and
No.
white and purple.
No.
Chet Hayes.
No. That's not the one I'm talking about.
Do you think Chet Hayes listens to this podcast?
No. Maybe. Brad Paisley might.
It's possible. He's got some questions for you if you're listening. What was I? Oh, so I was going to say
probably just a complete waste of time. But continue.
If there is no, certainly not like this. If there's no turnovers in your own territory, no big punter kick return, I have a really hard time seeing how Pittsburgh's going to score more than 17 points.
Ooh, is it time to get to bold predictions?
Is that bold?
Let's go ahead and move on to bold predictions, Eric. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so barring one of those two things, I don't think the Steelers score more than 17.
Okay. No, not more than 17.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it bold if I say the Broncos will have 3 takeaways?
Yes, that's bold.
That is bold, and I'm saying
You
it.
think so?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Big Ben at minimum 2 interceptions, I think.
Wow, okay.
That's what I think, minimum. He seems just a little off target to me.
Well, even in his prime, he makes some throws where you're like, what are you thinking?
Ooh. I remember 2015 against the Broncos. Late in that game, he throws a bad interception to Brandon Marshall. Gave the Broncos an opportunity to get back in that game. They couldn't do it, but it was a bad interception.
Well, and then like the interception to Shelby Harris in 2018.
Yeah.
That's a bad interception.
Exactly. He lost the game there.
The throw that Justin Simmons picked off last year, that was not a particularly great decision. So
for a vet like that, he makes some plays.
And we haven't heard it this week. We've heard it in the past, but I think maybe Kareem Jackson said it last year. Somebody was like, we know Big Ben's going to give you an opportunity to go make those plays. So
they like playing it.
I think the secondary gets excited because there's going to be a couple chances there.
3 takeaways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bold prediction on offense.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think the Broncos stick with the run game a little bit more this week.
Oh.
I think both Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams go over 60 yards.
Classic number there for those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. 60 yards each.
I mean, I could lower it 50 if we want.
Well, no. Okay. No, it's got to be bold.
Yeah.
60.
Well, that's 120 yards rushing.
That would be
I
nice.
think that might be the most they've combined, or maybe not combined for, but like the most
Equal, balanced.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. I like that. How about, would it be bold if I said, like, Albert O will have a touchdown in the game?
No, I think that's...
It's not like he's a crazy touchdown maker.
Yeah.
I'll say Albert O gets a little bit more involved in this one.
Okay.
That's what I think. Especially if Drew's out there. He likes throwing Albert.
Yeah. You think Drew's going to play?
I don't know. No, I think it's trending toward Teddy.
Yeah. I think trending that direction. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen?
Ooh, final score prediction?
Yeah.
I would say with the 3 takeaways, and I do think the Broncos bounce back this week.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be easy. I think Pittsburgh, their season is sort of in the balance a little bit.
It's really in the balance. 1-3.
So I
2
think
and 3 is very different than 1 and 4.
Yeah.
Just like 4 and 1 is very different than 3 and 2.
Yes.
Can we talk about that for 1 second?
Oh, yeah.
Just like the difference in feeling. If you go out and
4-1 and you bounce back after the Ravens game, I think you're feeling like that was
it was just a blip.
Yep.
You come back home, you're playing a division rival for the first time.
Yep.
You're tied atop the AFC West.
Yep.
You can really make
Different
a statement. I mean, there's this notion out there that, and we've heard a lot of people say it, the Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders are all on a different level than the Broncos.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah. But if you win this weekend and then you come home and you got a chance to smack the Raiders around a little bit, you can say, "Hey, we're right in this mix." If you lose this weekend and you're 3 and 2, I think there's a lot more questions.
Spiraling.
Well, I don't know about
you
spiral.
can't lose
but
3 in a row. That's 2 back-to-back losses. They've been figured out. They can't beat a quality opponent.
That's the biggest thing to me is this team actually good, or are they just beating up on bad teams? And then you come back and it's almost a must win against the Raiders because
that's what I'm saying.
If you lose that and fall to 3-3, you're probably not getting the bye any better than 5-5, and now you got to go 5-2 after the bye to even have a chance. And with 3 division road games, that's a really tall ask.
It's a big game.
So
I know you love the schedule.
Well, I'm just thinking of how do you put yourself in position at the bye to be ready for the stretch run when you have Jerry Jeudy back and you get Bradley Chubb back and Ronald Darby's fully healthy and when you have a more complete team, can you be ready to go? And I think 6-4 is the very worst you can be going at the bye.
Yeah. Yeah, I think just in terms of, what'll be strange is if the Broncos lose this one, they'll say they can't beat a good team. If the Broncos win this one, they'll say Pittsburgh wasn't very good. Well, so that's just how it's going to be.
Yeah. And with 4 wins and 1 loss, you'll say whatever.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, my score prediction for this one, I'll say Broncos, I'll say 23. And I'll think Steelers 13.
23-13 is what you said.
I think the Broncos win 23-13.
It's very similar to what you said last week. Didn't you say 24-13 last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe you like that score.
The AFC North, they're kind of,
I will say.
I'm saying 23-13.
And this is. I only have a lot of faith in getting a win if Teddy plays.
So you think that? Let's not hedge on the score prediction. Let's just hear it.
Well, this is my score prediction if Teddy plays.
Okay.
I don't think the score is going to be the same if Drew plays. That's fair to say.
Know, but
I'm not going to give you a score for Drew.
I did the Teddy one too.
Yeah. I will say, what did you say, 23-13?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say 23, but I'll go.
You can say 23.
No, that's okay. I'll go 27-16.
16?
Yeah.
Wow. 1 less than the 17 you earlier said on your bold.
Yeah, I said no more than 17.
Yeah.
23-16.
Okay.
Or 20, what did I say? 27-16.
27-16. Okay. Higher scoring than I said.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I think some of these turnovers, you might have a situation where you're in good field position.
Yes, and so maybe you just
get an extra one. Yeah.
Okay. I say they stay with the running game a little bit, time of possession, some longer drives. I think 23 is. I think that's about right.
Okay.
Should we get to some voicemails?
Let's
That's
do
why
it.
I grabbed the
Let's
phone.
do it. Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, no. I'm listening. I'm just trying to get to some voicemails here. Okay. Let's start out with a first-time caller.
Hi, this is Ken in Maryland, lifelong Broncos fan. I just wanted to say I just watched the last broadcast following the Ravens loss, and I totally agree with Eric with an A. I was really disappointed that Drew failed to be prepared. Backups come out in relief all the time and perform well enough to win games for their teams. We can't blame this on lack of reps. This was the result of Drew's own lack of preparation.
Eric, first of all, suspect caller just because he says he totally agrees with you. But he did get Eric with an A. Yeah. That was good. So he says it's Drew. Drew should have been ready to go. It doesn't matter how many reps. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah, that's just what it's like in this league when you're a backup. Like we mentioned on Monday, it's only been 3 or 4 weeks without a ton of reps. So you would have hoped that he would have been a little more ready to go. I'm not sure, especially if Teddy's limited on Thursday and Friday or whatever the plan might be. Not sure he's going to get that many more reps anyway this week. I mean, Wednesday he certainly will, but it's not like he's getting – if Teddy can go, it's not like he's going to get every single rep anyway. So he's going to still have to figure out, how do I handle this from a mental perspective? How do I make sure I'm ready to go? Because even if Teddy starts, knock on wood, Drew's still got to be ready in case there's another injury. So he's got to figure this out. Hopefully this is a learning experience for him. It was not a game the Broncos were trending in the right direction anyway, but if there's a game that they need him to come in for, say it's tied or you're down 3 or whatever, and you need him to do something,
he's got to be ready to go.
Hopefully this serves as a learning experience.
Yeah, and Vic Fangio sort of defended Drew Lock on Wednesday and said that, he seemed like he was ready to go, is what Vic said, and then he said that Drew does not look at his career trajectory as a career backup. And so maybe that mindset got in the way a little bit. I don't know. The next caller took a different approach.
Hey guys, so I just want to say, first off, I'm a huge fan of the show. I listen every night, usually right after I get home from my work. And I just want, thank you guys for making the podcast and everything like that. I love listening to them. I love y'all's takes on everything. So my main question is, do you think that you can pin the loss on the Ravens, or to the Ravens against Drew Lock or against our offense? Because a lot of people have been saying, we saw what we saw in 2020 and 2019 with Drew Lock just not being able to move the ball on first and second down. He can sometimes get you out of those, third and long with his arm, but rarely can he get you down the field and everything like that. Now, personally, I've loved Drew Lock since he's been out of Missouri. I've followed him since he's been out of Missouri. I'm a big Drew Lock guy, so I could be personally biased, but I personally do not believe that loss was Drew Lock's fault. You have to think, he didn't practice against the Ravens defense, or scout squad, quote unquote, at all during practice. He didn't get any of those reps because he was not, he's not the starter. We're giving most of those to Teddy. And he had to come in with no warm up. He got to warm up a little bit before halftime, but he didn't get his arm loose. Everything like that. You could tell that there were connection problems between him and Cortland Sutton and everything like that. And, of course, he made some bad throws and he made some bad decisions like that pick at the end and everything like that. But also, I think I don't think it's fair to blame it on Drew Lock. And I think this week is the real test to see what the issue is with Drew Lock and see, hey, is he actually a good quarterback now, or is he still the same 2019, 2020 Drew Lock that we saw before that just cannot move the ball down the field?
So he tries to defend Drew Lock a little bit there and says it's not his fault.
I'm not going to say the loss is Drew Lock's fault because they're trailing by 10 points when you go in. The defense let up some big plays. They were not perfect by any stretch. Special teams was not good enough. But Drew Lock did not do anything to help this team. That, to me, is the biggest thing, is that you need your quarterback to elevate what you do on offense. I think a lot of the times Teddy Bridgewater does that. That was not the case against the Ravens when Drew Lock went in there. Some throws that were just off the mark, the deep balls that weren't necessarily thrown correctly, obviously took several sacks. It's not to say that Drew can't play better, because we've seen Drew play better. So it's not like he has to take – he talked about I don't know if he left a name. It sounded that was kind of an anonymous voicemail. Anti-AJ maybe is who we could call that caller. But, people are saying, well, is Drew going to make this jump? He can play better even without making the jump, because we've seen that from him in the past. But
saw it in training camp.
Right, but to assume that he's going to make this giant leap, I think I'm at the point, Phil, where I need to see that in order to kind of believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that the thing about not facing the Ravens scout team defense out in practice, like Drew as a backup needs to be locked in to the point where maybe he's not getting the physical reps, but he is ready to go if needed. And so he has the playing experience. He should be able to, if he's mentally locked in during the week, just step up and get it done there. And we've seen that happen in the past. Like, just think, for example, last year when Miami was here, Tua plays that whole game, and then they make the switch, they put in Fitz, and they almost win that game. And I'm sure that week Fitz did not get all the reps. Now, Fitz obviously a career-long person in that role. So I think it is possible to just come in and give your team a spark even sometimes as a backup. And Drew, I think, probably learned some things about being a backup quarterback last week. And so we'll see if he's needed again at some point in the season. I bet you we're going to see a little bit more of a locked-in player. And if he's needed this week to start, I think we'll see a more locked-in player too. So one last voicemail to get to here, a very maybe I could say sad Bronco Batman.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Neutral Zone? This is Bronco Batman. Tough loss in every aspect of the game, but you know what? The Broncos can be resilient. I believe we can bounce back. These next three games, Pittsburgh, the Raiders, and the Browns, I say we go 2-1. And that would mean we go 5-2. Not bad. I think we can really do it. And if Drew Lock starts this next game because of Bridgewater's health status, think Locke's going to ball out, but if not, hopefully Bridgewater can bounce back.
Bronco Batman, that's not what you normally sound like, so I hope that...
Morose is the word I would use.
Hopefully, we've encouraged you a little bit throughout the beginning of the show here, so that now you're feeling a little more energized.
Yeah.
He seemed to be, what he was saying, confident. He thought that even if Drew was needed, he would ball out.
Yeah. It's possible.
It is possible.
And again, like we said just a second ago, I do think he's going to raise the standard of where he's played, but 2-1 would be great. We said a few weeks ago, 2-2 is what you're looking for. So obviously, if you can go 2-1 over the next 3 weeks, you'd be in really good shape. I even think 1-2, you're still probably okay. It's just that you can't let this become a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah, good teams don't lose 4 games in a
No.
row. And it is interesting how all these games kind of got lumped in, like with that Thursday night there. It's a natural sort of pause to just say, let's look at these next 3 games as a grouping. It's not just sort of a normal part of the season. It's like these 3 games, this is going to be a big determining factor where this Broncos team is.
Yeah.
An email to get to here. This is from David Walsh, who wrote in from Japan.
Wow.
So I'm not going to read the whole email here, but he just says that he's lived in Japan 20-plus years, but he's from Denver originally, went to South High. Okay, then he went to CU Boulder. That's a pretty good school. CU Boulder. He's lived all over the place, but he's a really big Broncos fan. So just wanted to take some time to shout out here. He says, my wife just asked that if the Broncos won or lost, to just modify his behavior a little bit. And I think that you and me are kind of like that too, right?
Yeah.
At least I'm like that. So he has requested a sticker, and I think that we have put one in the mail.
Wow.
All the way out to Japan. So
Send them
thank
wherever you
very
want.
much, Mr. Walsh, for the email, and we appreciate NZ World really stepping up here.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah. If you'd like a sticker, you can just send in an email there, neutralzoneshow@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a part of the show, 707-NEUTRAL, and we'll play your voicemail just like we do with Bronco Batman there.
Definitely.
Nice to have 2 new voices there.
Yeah, that's great. We love
I
new
like that.
new voicemails are always nice.
Leave a comment on YouTube if that's where you're watching, and we read all of those. If you think my hair looks nice, maybe you can just say it. It's okay.
You're fishing for
Yeah,
compliments.
it's okay. Or just hit us up on Twitter at Eric Dalala with an A, at Phil Milani with a PH. Non-traditional spellings there, Eric.
It's true.
Any shout-outs to get to here before we say goodbye?
I don't know. Well, naturally, Liz Gerald's.
Yes.
And I also think for the very first time, we should shout out Blair Gerald's.
He left some comments on our
He
little
asked,
show.
he asked a nice little question on our
Yeah.
YouTube. You can follow along
Thank you for
live
watching,
Monday
Blair.
nights. Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse in Littleton.
Blair, come on out.
Yeah, Blair, what are you
can
doing?
Get a beer?
Yeah.
Just hang out with us. Maybe we'll pull you up on stage.
Yeah, it could be nice.
It'll be fun.
Our dear friend Kevin also left some comments.
Kevin, I don't remember reading.
I think you read a lot of comments. KMH.
KMH. Oh, you know that person.
No, he just loves the show. Big fan.
Oh, God.
Kind of like
Okay,
Tom
you don't
Magnetti.
know.
No.
No.
Well, I feel like we know them.
You kind of, yeah, exactly. I see what you're saying.
You see what you're saying? You
so
know
you
them.
kind of know them.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What was this?
Kevin.
Kevin, huh? Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys.
He said he might come out, so
Really?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, every Monday from 6 to 7, Breckenridge Brewery's farmhouse
Farm home.
off of Santa Fe out in Littleton.
Yeah. Brewery Lane.
Nice. Brewery Lane.
Yeah.
There's something just nice about that Brewery Lane.
I think you're thinking like she lives on Drury Lane,
Yeah, maybe.
like the
yeah.
fairy tale.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah. She lives on Brewery
something
Lane.
nice about a lane.
Oh.
You know, it's like better than an avenue
Who's
or
a lane?
road. A lane from Seinfeld.
Yeah. Something nice about her?
Eric, I was going to
Not
shout
the
out
time, Phil.
Habitat for Humanity. They had the CEO build earlier this week. Broncos president and CEO Joe Ellis was out there helping build some affordable homes. Eric,
Great
and
work.
the thing about this is they don't just give these homes away. You know, they build these homes, but then they sell them. The homes they were building, they were up in North Denver in the Aria neighborhood, $300,000 okay, for these homes, much lower than what they would be appraised at. And then the idea is that they keep these homes affordable for 99 years is what they do. So it's not like it's going to skyrocket. Nobody's buying these houses and then trying to flip them for a quick profit. They're staying affordable, and that's going to help these families for generations, and it's going to help build equity, build wealth through this, and it's a really cool thing that Habitat for Humanity is doing. And these CEOs, you don't normally think of a CEO going out there, got the tool belt on, got some work boots.
Yes. Did you have work boots on?
I had work boots on.
Okay.
Yeah. I always wear my work boots.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a really cool deal.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, shout out to those guys. And I was out there for a little bit. I'm not a CEO. I'm not a CEO. I just showed up. I was like, can I help? And they were like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I hammered a little bit. I got the hammer gun.
Nail gun?
Nail gun, that's what I meant. Yeah. That's what it is.
Real blue-collar guy over here with the hammer gun. Man of the people.
Goodness gracious. I'm going to get killed for that.
Yeah.
I'll edit it out.
Nope.
Should I?
Nope. You got to leave the hammer gun.
Gosh dang it. I tend to...
Out here in your work boots with your hammer gun.
It doesn't really matter what it is. I kind of mess up things like that anyway,
Yeah.
I think, what did I say? Apples and bananas.
Yeah. This is worse.
If a normal thing, two things that are different, apples and oranges. If they're really different, apples and bananas.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll break down whatever happens between the Broncos and Steelers on Monday. Come out to Breckenridge Brewery if you live in the Denver area. If not, we'll be live on the Broncos YouTube page. And that's a fun show, Eric. I like it. It's
a lot of fan
engaging.
questions.
Yeah. So make sure you check that out. Until then, for Eric Dalala, I'm Phil Milani, and you've been listening to
The Neutral Zone.